everybody. My name is Carson Stark. I'm a sophomore computer science major at UT, and I just went through the FRI Freshman Research Initiative program at UT, and today we're going to be talking about and giving a little demo of one of my projects that I did for the Freshman Research Initiative. So I'm working with Dr. Hart in the Living with Robots lab and the Learning Agents research group. Do you want to say something, give a little explanation of what you do in your lab?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm Professor Justin Hart, and I head up the Living with Robots laboratory. This is joint work between my laboratory and Peter Stone's lab, the Learning Agents research group. What my laboratory focuses on is, if we look at the state of the art in robotics, or if we look at what's going on, the earliest victories of robots were about 50 years ago, when we had KUKA robots, which were assembling cars in factories. And they were running G-code, sort of like what a CNC milling machine or a 3D printer would run. Is just an open loop process, right? And right now what we're looking at is robots that are coming into environments that are not designed around robots, they're designed around people, right? So we are looking at, people will see server robots in restaurants, diligent robots. Andrea Tomasi spoke earlier today, has robots in the home. Bill Smart has robots in the home. Peter's working with Sony on technologies that doubtless will be in your home. And the home is not a factory. It is not a place that's designed for robots, right? Introducing people introduces complexity, because you have to deal with the complexity of interacting with the person, understanding what the person means, and making yourself understood to the person. And if you're just doing something simple like picking up an object, in a factory that object is fixtured. It's going to be in the exact place down to a fraction of a millimeter every time you try to pick it up. But we have to deal with the perceptual problem of identifying not only that object, but also its pose in the environment. It's very complex, it's very tricky. For years, Peter and I have been developing robot architectures that are these classic three-tiered architectures with high-level planning at the top, and then down at the bottom there's some actions. And now, Carson and his team in my laboratory have been developing sort of a next-generation architecture, which is based around transformer models, it's based around large language models. When you think about what an LLM does, these are contrastively trained, and the reason that they're so smart is they're trained on literally everything, right? Like, companies are able to scrape the entire internet, plus every movie, plus every book ever written, put that into a model, and then train the model, which is only intended to produce good sounding English. But along the way, it picks up that, hey, the dinner fork goes to the left of the knife, or whatever the hell you're gonna ask it, right? Like how to write some C++ code. It knows those things. So if we fail to build that into our rigid models where we had to build everything before, it now has very common sense reasoning capabilities about the world. It knows a lot of stuff about the world out of the box. The thing it doesn't know is how to operate a robot. That's the part that we add. So I'm gonna stop talking because I know y'all want to hear Carson talk, and I know we want to do a demo, so that's what we're gonna do.
So we started this project and finished the majority of it last year at the end of the spring semester for the final project of the first course of the FRI program. And ChatGPT had just came out a couple of months before, so we really everyone wants to be able to talk to a robot like it's a human and have it just tell them that you're hungry, and then it'll give suggestions and go do stuff for you. So that's what we wanted to try and do with these new capabilities that ChatGPT provides, is build a robot that you could communicate to with natural language, and a robot that would interpret the actions that you're requesting and do tasks for you, basically. So we were able to use ChatGPT, and we use that large language model not only to generate dialogue, which I'm sure many of you have seen that before, but we added a planning component onto that. So the LLM acts as a AI agent, and that gives us the capability for the agent to decide whether it will output dialogue or it can choose to output a task, basically. And the challenge is converting that task into actual functions and matching just text output to functions that we can call on the robot to drive to destinations, for example. So what we do is we have the LLM output something like execute action sequence, and then it just gives a ordered list of operations, like it might say drive to the apple, grab the apple, drive back to the user. And we use the embedding to compare the semantic identity of different phrases that we have listed as the actions that the robot can do. We compare that to the actions that the robot outputted, and then we can match the output of the robot to actual real-world tasks in that way. So we'll give a quick demo now. Hopefully the audio is working. Dobby, introduce yourself.
Where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dobby, your grumpy, yet amusingly sarcastic robot assistant. Students, I'm here to guide you around the house. Now, wouldn't it be lovely if I could take a nap instead? But alas, robots don't sleep.
How have you been today, Dobby?
Oh, just fantastic. You know, doing the same robot stuff. Again and again. It's just another hectic day in the exciting life of a robot. How's your day been?
My day has been hectic too, dealing with all your little bugs that have been coming up.
The cruel irony. Humans create us robots, only to be troubled by our bugs. So, Mr. Bug Buster, in what ways can I, Dobby, lighten your burden today?
I was hoping you could talk to some people from the audience. Would that be okay?
Oh, absolutely. People talking to a robot, what could go wrong? Right? So who's the lucky audience member to get the full Dobby experience?
All right, do we have any volunteers or people who want to talk to the robot? You look excited.
Wow, so we've got volunteers. Now, isn't that a twist? Okay, brave souls, step right up and say hello to your new robotic chum, Dobby.
And then you just say the keyword there. I don't want to activate No, the face. Just talk to it like you would a person. Now? Not yet. Are you ready?
That work?
Like the Harry Potter character?
Yeah. Hey, Dobby. Oh, this one. Okay. This is a lot to deal with. Dobby, you're up here at a University of Texas at Austin showcase. How are you feeling right now? Are you got a little stage fright, or you confident? You doing all right there?
Stage fright? Me? Absolutely not. I'm just an overworked robot with a snappy sense of humor. Remember? Besides, the butterflies in my circuits are on vacation right now. How about you? Feeling a bit tense, are we? Or just excited to be here?
Dobby, I'm awfully excited. This is a lot of people out here in front of us right now. But yeah, have you ever performed for a crowd before?
Perform for a crowd? Well, now, this isn't Broadway. I run tours and provide info. I don't exactly belt show tunes. You looking for any particular assistance today, or are we here for a humor session?
Dobby, are you sure you can't belt show tunes? I think you can. What's your favorite Broadway musical?
If I could, trust me, I'd be breaking into a heartfelt robotic rendition of The Phantom of the Opera right now. Now, can I guide you anywhere in this fine establishment?
Dobby, I like to think so. I happen to like Phantom of the Opera myself. You've got good taste. But yeah. Thank you very much, Dobby. You have a great day.
Really? We share a love for the Phantom. Do we? Well, that merits a category upgrade from guest to musically enlightened tour patron. Shall we head over to the basketball hoops? The acoustics are just lovely for a spontaneous chorus of music of the night.
All right, thank you for that riveting conversation. Okay, so just to demonstrate the action planning real quick, so it wants to go to the basketball hoop, which obviously we don't have it set up to go there yet, but I did map out this whole area just in case we wanted to have it navigate around the room, but obviously it's way too crowded for that. But what it will do is
Off to the basketball hoops we
pick the
go.
actions to
You know,
execute, so you
I've
can
always
see
wanted to
it
try
there.
dunking.
And it's
If
gonna,
only my
like, fake
creators
go
had
to
been
the
a bit more
basketball.
generous with the limb department. Any other fascinating topics we can chatter about on our jaunt?
So now it's gonna think that it's reached the basketball hoop.
Here we are at the basketball hoops. You fancy a game? Although, I
So
must
we
warn you,
use this-
robot elbows aren't really designed for sporting prowess.
Okay, so I think y'all get the how this could be very useful and represents a big leap forward in robotics and how they can interact with humans and interpret their needs, ask questions to clarify what they want, and use common sense reasoning to generate action plans. The research that we've been doing with this is with tour guides, so we compared this robot with a non-conversational robot for tour guides around the lab, and obviously people enjoyed the conversational robot much more. And we're trying to set up the robot and polish it up a bit so that CNS can use it for all tours whenever they want of the AHG. So.
Earlier today, you met President Jay Hartzell. He's the president of UT Austin, which is the university where you developed. How did that feel?
Oh, that? It was as thrilling as a roller coaster ride. For a toaster, joking aside, it doesn't quite sizzle my circuits like it might for you humans. Want to continue exploring? I promise not to bore you with any more of my exciting encounters.
So as you can see, it wants to revert back to doing its job, and we're definitely not guiding tours right now. Any other questions, comments?
Wait, didn't you appreciate my spectacular sense of robo-humor? But alright, back to business. Where to next? The basketball hoops or perhaps the bar? It's your call.
Thank y'all so much.